was teaching my prevention program at Jordan Creek Elementary, sitting in the lunchroom and talking with the kids, and all of a sudden it sounded like the fire alarm was going off. Just kind of a strong buzzing sound, like a building fire alarm. Started to look around, and all the kids were acting as normal, talking and having fun there in the classroom, and then I started kind of getting a little lightheaded and realizing that there's something going on with me. Sat down at the table and kind of a black and white flash, kind of like you're going to pass out type lightheaded feeling, and have some weird feeling down my left side, and I wasn't sure what was going on. So I grabbed one of the lunch ladies and I told her, I said, you need to help me get out of here and get to the nurse's office. And I couldn't walk any further and just kind of went down there in the hallway.
When I saw Scott lying there, I said something to him about, Scott, this is Nurse Cindy, what's going on? And he said, tried to talk to me at the time, and it was slurred. He was not able to enunciate.
Never lost consciousness at all. The school nurse that came out, and as soon as she looked at me, she's like, you're having a stroke. And no, I'm not. I'm 38 years old, getting ready to turn 39. I was like, no, I'm not.
As soon as that happened, and they got Scott out and realized something was going on, one of the bystanders called 911.
And the call came out for a possible stroke at the school, an address that we knew. They told us what school it was, and I knew he was school resource officer there at that time. So I told my partner, I said, this has to be Scott.
EMS arrives, and the fire department got there, and they started working on me, and got in the ambulance. The medics were assessing me, doing all their job, asking me a million questions, asking my name a million times, and I knew the medic, but it was making me mad, frustrated, like, my name, quit asking what it is.
Well, it's critical that he was able to identify, and the people around him were able to identify his symptoms, because as a result, he got in here to the emergency room rapidly, and we were able to provide him with therapies that otherwise he would not have received.
Ambulance personnel can call ahead and relate to the hospital personnel an examination they've performed. They can alert the hospital that a possible stroke patient is en route, and that gets the process started at the hospital so that when you arrive, they are ready for you.
This is our clot box. Everything we need to treat your acute ischemic stroke is in this box. We need to have a CAT scan of your head, and we bring you back, and if that CAT scan indicates that you are not having a hemorrhage, but indeed are having an acute ischemic stroke, we will open this box, and everything we need to treat you is in this box.
Got to the hospital, and they rushed me, and they called for the stroke alert, and got into the hospital, and had all the different people doing everything on me.
After we delivered Scott to the hospital, and I stayed there for quite a while. Sometimes when it's a friend and you don't think everything moves as fast as it should, and in all reality it does.
As we take a look at the inside of the brain, in Scott, his stroke occurred basically in the back part of the brain, roughly in this area here. And actually he received a more novel treatment approach where we take a catheter and we insert it into a blood vessel, and then take the catheter and place it right onto the clot inside the brain and provide the medicine directly onto the clot, and he did very well.
And slowly I was able to start, talking a little bit and starting to move around and, kind of hear what was going on. I was in the ER or the ICU till that Thursday. The nurses were coming in, finally had to cut me off from visitors, because you've had, I can't remember how many it was, the first day it was like 150 visitors, and you're done. And then all of a sudden here comes, people from other fire departments, other police departments coming in to see me, and they're like, I couldn't really say no, they got guns,
So when Scott came into the ER, we were contacted by the neurology service that Scott had a problem with one of the blood vessels to his brain. So he was brought over to us as quickly as possible, where we began to do first a generic angiogram, but once we saw the problem, we quickly put in a catheter where the blood clot was, and then infused the TPA, which is a blood lysis agent. We were able to bust up this clot in a very critical vessel, and he had a good outcome from that.
And Dr. Brown, what he means to me is my life. It was a second chance. Amazing what he did when they told me what the procedure was, and very excited to meet him and see what he's like, say thank you. How you doing?
Nice to see you again.
Good to meet you. I've never gotten a chance to see you. So.
I met you once.
No, I was telling them it's been just waiting for it, so it's a huge deal, big thank you to you.